Process of doing.
What's the next one? You got taken out with the draft line. There should be 6 matters on this bench. They have been, they're subject to a defense. Correct. Council, please just identify yourself for the record.
Notarianni to the pleasure, Your Honor.
Right, I think that's what we said before, am I correct?
That's correct.
A motion filed, to Mr. Wilkins, sir, you wish to discharge Mr. Notarianni as your attorney?
Yes. Mr. B.
Give me 1 second, sir. Got a bunch of paperwork I gotta sign here. There's six different cases. I wanna make sure I don't miss anything. Alright, Mr. Wilkins, just to let you know, I'm not sure, these weren't all set for trial initially today, correct?
That's only the one that I've already received, so it's just the rest were all added, 2 weeks ago when I discovered that they had set them all independently for their own motion hearing, so we just asked to have them all set together.
So, Mr. Wilkins, the court is in the process, sort of in the middle of reopening fully, so we're not at the stage yet where we're doing trials. So these cases aren't set for trial today, meaning that if you discharge Mr. Notarianni, they'll all be set for trial in the future. What reason is it that you want to discharge him?
Well, what I have, and I like to state for the record, I'm here in appropriate persona, sui juris, as a free white person who proclaims his nationality as Moorish American, and is a member citizen of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Inc., which is incorporated in this government. Articles of Incorporation are August the 1st, 1928, 252, SS number 1010595, D Book 521, page 579, Smith Hers Revised Statute, Chapter 32, 36, Form 1099, Cook County, Illinois, National Archives Record Group 147. Both me being Moorish American is permanent. In order to receive the benefits of both my being Moorish and American is permanent. In order to receive the benefits of being a citizen here in America, I must answer and apply to both forms of government. The Moorish Science Temple of America, Inc., Constitution of the United States and Congress, assembled 1787, not to be confused with the corporate United States formulated by and through the District of Columbia Organic Act of 1871. I'm not a 14th Amendment citizen that lived within any federal area as it was termed during the Buck Act in 1940. The 14th Amendment cannot make a citizen. It was outlawed in 1883. Civil Rights Cases 109, U.S. 3, 1883, speaks in regards to 14th Amendment and the 13th Amendment and 15th Amendment, which are all null and void. I do not reside within the municipal corporation known as Allegheny County or the state of Maryland. I'm domiciled within the jurisdiction of the Emancipation Proclamation. I am a lawful abiding citizen following the policy and proclamations of the late President Abraham Lincoln, and I live within the jurisdiction and following the policy that our noble prophet Drew Ali set up as well. I have taken my oath of amnesty and reconstruction as well. So this is my affidavit of truth that I asked Mr. Notarianni to file on my behalf and to challenge the jurisdiction, which this is a quasi court, it's a colorable court, it's a 14th Amendment court, it's fraudulent, and I've asked him, is he able to, or is he not willing to Whichever, he's free to do so, and he just told me today he can't go forward with it, so that's why I would like to have him discharged. Removed from my case.
So you're claiming to be a sovereign citizen?
Not a sovereign citizen, I'm a Moorish American, again, which is a citizen, an actual citizen. Not a 14th Amendment citizen. Under the 13th Amendment for the section, I have a copy if you'd like to see it. Make a copy yourself.
I'm fine.
It's passed by Congress.
Let me make sure I have a good address for you. The address we have on file for you is general delivery. Is the, to the mail?
Yes.
U.S. Postal Office here?
Yes.
So you regularly check that?
When I'm able to, yes, I do.
Okay, and where are you residing?
I'm residing from family member to family member house.
Here in Cumberland, Allegheny County?
Yes.
Okay. So.
Well, no, not here in Allegheny County, but here within the Maryland Republic, which for the United States Republic for which it stands. Not the federal district, the corporate.
I'll certainly take everything, I'll note everything that you just outlined for me. But what we're here today to decide is whether or not Mr. Notarianni is going to remain as your attorney. So you're telling me that he won't file something that you've asked him to file?
Yes.
And that's your basis for wishing to discharge?
Absolutely.
Mr. Notarianni, is there anything you would like to put on the record?
I did my best to try to explain jurisdiction, what creates it with the District Court of Maryland, and in fairness to this gentleman, he's done a lot of research, although unfortunately, I think very little of it, if any, actually is applicable to our court system. But I did my best to try to explain that to him, and it didn't seem to go very well.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
According to Article 3, if you give me a moment, I can pull it up. My notes aren't as organized as I would like them to be.
We're not here to deal with that right now today. We're here to deal with why you want to discharge Mr. Notarianni.
Well, as he just stated, that the
Is there-
court,
is there any-
this colorful court has jurisdiction, and as I told him, and I'm trying to tell him, if it's not an Article 3 court with dual citizenship, where you have to be a citizen in the state and a citizen under the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, taking the oath of amnesty and construction, this is not an organic court.
Okay, so.
It's not a lawful
Is
court.
there
Not
anything
de jure
else,
court.
is there anything else that you've asked him to do that he's refused to do?
Besides, like I say, file my
Besides
affidavit.
that.
And to challenge the jurisdiction, according to my affidavit, me as a free white person.
Is there anything else that you've asked him to do that he has not done for you?
No.
Is there anything he has done that you have disagreed with?
Admit the jurisdiction of this
Other
corporate
than this
municipality.
jurisdiction issue?
That's what he's done so far, and I've been generous, but again, as we're handling business, it's not about friendly or my personal feelings or his
Right.
personal feelings. It's about business. It's about facts.
Has he made himself
Not
available?
opinion.
Has he made himself available to you and answered your questions?
For the most part, but there haven't been accurate answers.
Whether or not you agree or disagree with his answer, he's made himself available to you to answer them as best he can.
I don't think as best as he could because he has a degree. He has, if I'm not mistaken, he should have degrees in law and constitution as well. He should be knowledgeable of those things.
So the rule that is applicable to what the matter before the court today is under the Maryland Rules 215.
Is that constitution, Mr. Bean?
This is the Maryland Rule.
I have a-
Rules book, okay, and that is as it relates specifically to subsection E, which is the discharge of counsel. So if a defendant requests permission to discharge an attorney whose appearance has been entered, the court shall permit the defendant to explain the reasons for the request, which I just did. If the court finds that there is a meritorious reason for the defendant's request, the court shall permit the discharge of counsel, continue the action if necessary, and advise the defendant that if new counsel does not enter an appearance by the next scheduled trial date, the action will proceed to trial with the defendant unrepresented by counsel. So, based on what you've told me, as it relates to whether or not there's a meritorious reason to discharge Mr. Notarianni, I rule that there's not. Now, what that means is, obviously, we're not going to proceed with trials today. So you're still going to be given an opportunity to retain new counsel if you wish to. But he was assigned by the public defender's office, And so it's my understanding that once you wish to discharge him, basically you're discharging the entire office of public defender. So it's unlikely that they will assign a new attorney to you, which means that if you want to be represented in these matters, you would have to either hire an attorney or ultimately represent yourself. And so what I'm advising here today is that these matters will be reset. They will have new trial dates. And if you were to appear at your next court hearing without an attorney, the court could deem that you waived that right and make you proceed on your own in representing yourself at that time. I will grant your request and discharge Mr. Notarianni in the Office of the Public Defender at this point. Okay? Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay? You'll receive notice, sir, of when to be back, and it'll be going to general delivery is the address we have on record, okay?
All right, Mr.
The state would just like to put on the record that when these do get reset and we're back to trial purposes, if Mr. Wilkins comes in without an attorney and requests a continuance, the state is going to absolutely object. These cases, some of them are almost a year, if not older.
Right. Now, Mr. Wilkins, as it relates to your other argument, I can tell you that this court is not going to be inclined to grant any requests as it relates to what you've outlined. At the conclusion of these matters, if there were to be any convictions in any of these cases, you would maintain your right to appeal my decision. But we're not to that point yet. You're presumed innocent as it stands now, up until the point that we start a trial and evidence is presented. And at that point, if I were to be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that you had committed one or some or all of these crimes, that's when we would get to the appeal stage after that, okay? I want to be fair to you. I want you to know that you're being heard, but you're not the first person to make this type of argument, and the law is quite clear. And we're not going to get into that today. We're going to save that for another day. I can tell you that I think you're going to be best served by having an attorney.
Well, I don't want to contract with the fictitious government, the de facto government, because that would be one little thing that would cause me to admit the jurisdiction of this de facto government, which is fraudulent.
Your argument has been noted, sir, and you'll receive notice when to appear back, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Do I need anything else, sir?
Now, you're good, you'll receive something in the mail.
All right, thank you.
So, you know, if you want to file anything on your own, you can ask them for some paperwork, you can give it to them, okay?
Yeah, I know what to do, but the problem is I don't even have an ID, and the mail is just.
Oh, you should be in there. Good time.
It's just unreasonably. I don't understand why the mail is so slow. It's coming from Glen Burnie. I'm waiting on my ID, new ID copy. But it's a good thing, you know, like I said, I don't have that hindrance, because if an attorney, a public defender, or even a hired attorney is unable or unwilling to file it, and then I come and do it on my own, they tell me I can't do it because my attorney has to do it. So that's why I needed the attorney removed.
Yeah, well, now they have to.
Right, I certainly am in the pride
I
with.
wish you the best work.
All right, thank you again.
Take care.
Y'all, you too. Sir, y'all got a mask y'all can you can spare one of those masks, please?
Sure, that's all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day, young man.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you too.